just about, oh, I think I was just saying that I was wondering how to make contacts and how to find a reliable partner. But I guess there's, you just have to, you know, try different forums and, well, you just have to try. I don't think it's, everybody has, you know,
Yeah.
different, yeah, responsibilities and different things going on. So, um, I think when I do my activity, perhaps I'm going to do a small one and just to try out. And yeah, we'll just see how that goes. So you recommend the eTwinning website as a place to find partners?
Yes, definitely. And if you want to do a bigger project, it also gives a so-called twin space. So basically, a storage space where you can share your materials and the outcomes of the project. So I think that's the best way.
Okay, great. So in terms of the is it Let's Get Down to E-Business? How did
Mhm.
you go about kind of organizing it, and how did you decide what you wanted to do?
So basically, I came up with the idea. So the project is about the different groups set up their own company, which basically corresponded to what they are learning or to their interests. And then they figured out the whole design of the company, making introduction, etc. And also finding out if they have some vacancies in the company. And then on a shared space, we just put out these advertisement that they were looking for possible workers, and the students could apply to each other's companies. So they wrote CVs and letters of motivation in English. How we worked with my partners, with my colleagues, we had a teacher group on Facebook. So we were on contact on Facebook and also on Skype. So we decided about the timetable and the different outcomes of the project. It took almost 4 months, and it was very difficult. But in our school, we work according to odd and even weeks. So my students come to school every second week. So that's why it took so long.
Wow, 4 months. Yeah, that's a long time.
Yes.
Um, and so, what were the learning outcomes? What were the products of the project?
So there were many products of the project. If you I don't know if you managed to check out our Pinterest site. So on the Pinterest site, you can see that. Let me send you the link. Um, there were many outcomes, and we tried to make it as collaborative as possible. First of all, it was collaboration within the Hungarian group as well, because most students have never used any collaborative web tools before, like Google Documents or TitanPad. So it was very new for them. And at first, we made a so-called KWL table. I don't know
What's that?
if you have it in English.
Not sure.
So basically, let me just show you. Sorry, it's in Hungarian, or
Okay.
at least one part. So if you check out what I sent you,
Yep.
you post 3 questions to the students. First, you post what they want to learn about that specific topic. I mean, you post it at the beginning of the project.
Yeah.
You also ask them what they know, what they already know about this topic, like in this case about the topic of work. And at the end of the project, you finish by asking a third question about what they learned during the project.
I see.
So we did it in Hungarian and in English as well.
Excellent.
And then so we started to design the companies, and not only design them but also create names and logos for the project. sorry, for the companies.
Okay.
And then there was a site where we started a voting, which was made public for the partners, where they could vote for the best job, for the best name for the company. So if you check out the last link that I sent you, these were the possible logos and the possible names for our HR company. And so we gave out a 7-day deadline, and the students from the other countries could vote which one they liked the best.
I see.
And that's how we set up our company. Okay, so once this was set, we made the company introductions, and for example, in my HR company, the boys decided about their roles, like who was the assistant manager in the both the technician and stuff. And then let me just send you the best part. This looks just really great. Here is a so-called Lino. I don't know if you are familiar with this tool, Linoit. This is where the companies posted the vacancies, and you can see really a lot. Like
I'm looking at it now.
The name of the job, the company which is looking for you, and how to apply. It was really great, and we had a lot of fun. Like there was the Santa Claus company which was looking for some. I don't know. It was really fun. We liked it a lot. So I was working with two groups on this project, with two Hungarian groups. One set up an HR company, and the other set up a supermarket, as they were shop assistants. So they set up a supermarket. And so once the vacancies were up, we used the OneDrive, where students could fill in an application form. And it was great because they had to do a lot of self-evaluation as well, like what their weaknesses were or what their strengths were. And you know, it's a very 21st century skill to we just really prepare them for real life. I mean, questions that they could meet at a real job interview.
Yeah, that's one thing I noticed about this, that it's how relevant it is to their real lives, that you really are preparing them for applying for jobs in the real world. So it's very practical, and it seems enjoyable at the same time.
And basically there were many small outcomes, preparing videos and stuff. Let me just send you two more things. One is, I don't know if you are familiar with Symbaloo. This is this is where we collected all the tools that we have been using during the project. And it was great because, you know, at the end they could say, oh my God, how many things we have been using and how many things you are good at. It's a very good for their self-esteem and self-worth. And there was one great outcome with my my Internet Explorer has just crashed, but let me just check once again. So with my shop assistants, I managed to organize. Okay, now it's playing the video. Sorry.
It's okay.
So we managed to organize a trip to Microsoft, so they could see how what a real company looks like, and they could tell us about. I like this part a lot. What to think about before posting on Facebook, for example, and it's really great because they could hear it from an expert. Like, think about what you are posting because your future boss might see it. And I think it was very, very important piece of advice. And they came home with ideas that they have never had before.
Yeah, I think that would have been an excellent way to finish or to do an excellent thing to do towards the end of the project, to actually go to a real business and get
Yes,
advice from
yes,
uh, perhaps your future boss or something.
yes. And during the project, we also managed to organize, I think, at least two Skype sessions where we met the Italian group and the Czech group, and it was great because even my students who have real problems with English, they could at least they weren't afraid to talk about at least one or two sentences in English to a foreigner,
So
and it was really great.
did you have your whole group um, kind of use one computer when you did this Skype session?
Yes,
Was it like a
yes,
group
yes.
class Skype?
Well, it wasn't a very big group. It was a group of 10 people, but so I'm not teaching in an ICT classroom.
Yeah,
I have my own laptop, and that's what we are dealing with.
yeah,
But in August, we got 6 tablets from Samsung. Because it has a smaller business near Nagykáta, so they try to support the institutions in the region. So we are very happy now that we don't have to beg for an ICT room when it's available, and now we can do more precious work with our own tablet.
yeah. That's excellent because that's a problem that I think about. Everyone has smartphone devices, but and some people have computers, but the school itself, I don't think has like an ICT room either. And actually, we have a really poor internet connection. So I'm
Yeah,
wondering how I'm going to
and you
deal with
know
that.
what? Because you may have heard about this bring your own device
Yes.
idea, and it's great. But as you have mentioned, the schools have very poor internet connection, and for example, in our school, the wireless is protected with a password that the students break anyway, but it's protected, so the students aren't allowed to use. And if they bring their own devices, should you, as a teacher, ask them to use their own mobile internet for educational
Yeah.
purposes? So,
Yeah.
so it's a big question. And we don't even have interactive boards. So we either use my own laptop, or we begged and got entry to an ICT room every second week. But it was very difficult, really.
Yeah. Well, so it's great that you've got access to these tablets. You say 6 tablets.
Yeah.
Yeah.